So we're going to use this pump right here, hook it up with the gauges. This is courtesy of a good friend of mine, Lee, is lending me these things. We're going to vacuum this down, and I think the idea is to let it sit for about an hour and then turn the pump off, make sure it holds vacuum. Then at that point we can go ahead and put Freon in it. It's still good. It's not even plugged in, is it?
No.
This is just scary all around, isn't it? This is the used valve cover. Of course, it's in really good shape, but as you see, it's kind of darker and the side is cut out. If you remember earlier episodes, I did buy a brand new Japanese one that's brand new in the box. It says B16. It's probably the Civic Type R valve cover, but anyway, brand new. It's sealed in the box from Honda, but with my kind of weirdness of keeping things mint and not wanting them to get ruined, I think I'm going to keep this one sealed in the box. I know some of you guys are going to cringe, and also some of you guys are going to go, yep, don't blame you at all. So these valve covers we had done by AB Powder Coat. This is their red, so I'm going to use this opportunity to promote AB. This is the Powder Coat red that they have, and it's as close to the Japanese valve cover or any of the red valve covers as I've seen. And this is kind of one of those things that makes me feel better knowing the other one is brand new and never used, but I'm going to use it to promote AB and say this is a service that they have. We're going to send these letters, tape them up first to cover up as much of the red as possible. Then what we're going to do is hit them with some sandpaper and a block to basically put a cut this way so it all looks even. What you got to remember is as you're doing this, as you're sanding it, you don't want the block to do this and you don't want it to rub into this. This is kind of close together. You're not going to hit that with sandpaper, but you need a sanding block and go back and forth. Don't do this, don't use a whiz wheel, don't go this way, it looks like crap. You got to use coarse sandpaper. So you're going to need some sandpaper. You want to use 100, 80, 120, something like that. This gives it the nicest cut, and the aluminum doesn't choke up the sandpaper. If you do anything too fine, the aluminum gets stuck in here and basically chokes it up, doesn't work anymore. You're going to need a sanding block. This is some 1-inch ply. What I'm going to do is just cut a little strip right here. Maybe we'll do about a 2-inch wide strip right here. This is longer than we need, but we can cut it down. So as you've seen in past videos, we don't have any woodworking equipment. Once you got your piece cut to a reasonable length, about 10 inches long, you're going to take your sandpaper right here. You can just hold the sandpaper on here while you sand it, but it's easier to glue it. So what I'm going to go ahead and use is some 3M right here, some 90. You're going to spray the wood and the sandpaper, let it dry, and then put the two pieces together. So Freon is in right now. AC is working, which is great because this AC hasn't worked in a while. Fans are moving a ton of air, and these things work so well. Dual small fans. There's an 11 and a 12. What kind of temperature we got in there? Is it nice and chilly?
Yeah, it's good.
Can't see any snow on your beard yet.
No, yeah.
It's kind of that cold. It feels good just sitting right here.
Yeah.
Let's get the little thermostick dicky that we checked the right now is sitting at about 94, which isn't that bad. Window, let you just kind of sit and chill on it a little bit.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll just push you this back in a minute. I'll put the window, make sure it does what it's supposed to do. Watch this, the electric window works now. Look at that. Everything's looking good, just checked over the pressures. Pressures are doing what they're supposed to do. Everything looks good. Super happy with everything. Let's go ahead and check the temp. Let's make sure it's cool.
I'm gonna keep using this because it works.
What do we got?
About 43-ish.
It's not bad at all, is it?
No.
Beautiful. Like you can feel how cold it is.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't think the SC has worked in this in probably 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I think that was when we talked about it last when he was going to fix it. Well, George just did a string alignment, which gets you pretty close. I mean, you could get some really thin string and a good pair of glasses and a flashlight and a really accurate tape measure and get it even closer, but I really like a computer alignment to make it perfect. I just took it up to the gas station and put gas in it. Back when I owned the CRX, it was like $15 to fill it up. Today I just put like 55 in it. Playing with the AC, so nice to have air conditioning. I mean, it's beautiful. So we're all set. We have our soundtrack. We're going to see Billy first thing in the morning. Car so far is running good. I've only been in it for like 5 miles, so hopefully it continues. Air conditioning is nice and cold. Car is pretty quiet. We did kind of like a quickie alignment just with strings, just to make it drive, you know, relatively straight. The tires were kind of squeaking before, so we knew it had a lot of toe in it, just moving it around the shop. But it drives surprisingly straight. A little bit of looseness in the front still. It could be in the ball joints if you do this. If you hear that, I mean, the wheels move. There's not a lot of looseness per se. It's just that noise. You hear that? Well, when you hit bumps and you're holding the wheel, when you feel that, you know, to me that just, you know, it tells you need to fix it. So that will be something we'll address. I haven't driven the car hardly at all. Since we've been working on it, it's only been like moved in and out the shop. It's only been up the side street yesterday. So just kind of getting used to the clutch. But the clutch is very, very soft, very easy to modulate. I might adjust it. It engages a little higher than what I would like. So what do you think? More of a restoration than a polish, isn't it?
Yeah, we gotta be careful playing with thin spots, but we'll get it shined up good.
You gotta get some of
the engine bay.
Yeah, get some of that wax that has paint built in, so as you're waxing it, it like...
We use the white wax.
Yeah, it stays on. He's gonna see what it can do. Again, we're not expecting miracles. The black is all clean, and we use dye on this. So,
okay.
you know, I'm sorry I brought it dirty. I was gonna wash it before I brought it to you. But this is dyed, so, you know, you can wash it.
Okay.
It's not that raw plastic like it usually is.
Yep.
This, if you don't, I'm thinking about just painting this satin black, because when it gets shiny, it looks really wrinkly. You know, you can see all the shapes.
Yeah, Big thing will just be to get some gloss out of it.
Yeah, that's it. Just whatever you think.
Make it look kind of more uniform.
Yeah, just so it's, you know, and then once it's got something on it, I can wax it, and or you can tell me what I should use just to keep it up. It's not going to be sitting outside much, it'll be inside, but just so I can touch it up.
Depending how the paint plays, if it plays nice for us, we can throw ceramic on it. If not, then we can use a good sealant and
yeah,
teach you how to keep up with it.
It's a shame. It's like I almost wanted to, you know, get the front bumper painted, but then the problem is that looks fantastic, and then you can't get the fenders to match, and then you paint the fenders, and then it's like it never ends. You paint the whole car. It's like super silky in it.
Yeah.
Hydro clutch.
It reminds me of my, I had a DA Integra with an LS, and it, I loved that car because it was just so smooth, like on the interstate especially.
Yeah. It runs like a normal car. Pretty quiet, it's mellow. The suspension's pretty good. It doesn't do anything annoying.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice going up to the Dragon.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great meet, but it's gonna be nostalgic too. This car's been up there a few times.
Me and Derek were thinking about taking my EF and his EK.
Absolutely.
Up there. It'll just depend on timing for me because we're having a baby next month, so.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, all right, honey, I'm going to take off for a week. I know you're having a baby, but it'll be okay. I'll be back. I'll be able to clean up when I get back.
It's in October, right? So hopefully, you know.
Is that when the baby's due?
No, next month.
Oh, next month. Oh.
Yeah.
He'll have it figured out by then.
I hope so.
Yeah, you know how to do it now. It's only the first one that you panic about. Once you've had one or two, they're easy. So this has changed quite a bit since the last time I saw it. Go ahead and shoot. What's your Instagram, Billy? Is it just presidential?
Well, presidential detail is.
Where would you find this? Is this under your personal one? Followed this car. He does a lot of racing with this. In fact, the last time he was out, the sunroof blew out and it broke.
Broke the windshield. I've already replaced that.
Actually, no, it was a hood that came up, right?
Hood came up, broke the windshield, and slapped the glass too on the top.
And this is gone. So if you know anybody that has a glass sunroof, if you have one, get a hold of me or get a hold of Billy. He needs one of these. He's been searching for it. And this car is fantastic. It's not like you're refurbishing it back to just factory stock. This is like way, way above. Yeah, this is so cool. And this is the brake delete you was talking about.
Yeah.
So booster delete, you just have straight pedal right into the master.
Yeah, it's a really nice kit. So they give you instructions on where to drill out the pedal on the inside to change the leverage point and everything.
Does it still feel good? The brakes
feels amazing.
Feel strong?
Yeah, really good.
It has decent travel. It doesn't feel like the pedal goes too far.
Now, if you just sit in the car and push the pedal, it won't feel great. But because you can't feel the engagement point. But once you start driving it, you feel it right
You can feel it. You can feel where it bites.
You can get in there if you want.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to look. That seat doesn't look enticing for me to get in and out holding the camera. We'll let Billy and his team do some magic on the CRX, and we'll show you what it looks like when we pick it up in, who knows, a few days, maybe a week. But right now we've got to go drive back to LHT. Alright guys, I got to show you this car and I'm going to tell you a little story. This is part of the LHT history right here. Yellow S2000. Still in really good shape, got a little bit of damage right here. Everything else still looks good. I refinished these brakes way back. Look at that, that was in 2010. Flattened the brakes, slicked them, repainted them. Look at that, they still look good today. That was the first set that I did, and I had spacers on this. I had a whole bunch of other stuff, but that was what I did. That's not the history. I found the car. My wife was pregnant at the time, and we were due like any day now. I found this car in Orlando, which is 95 miles away. I talked to the guy, made a deal. Hey, I'm going to drive up tomorrow, which was a Sunday. I tell my wife, hey, I'm going to go drive up and go pick up this yellow S2000. She goes, we're due any day now, like literally any minute. The idea was if we didn't have the baby that night, they were inducing her at 5 a.m. the next day, which was Monday. I was like, no problem, I'll be back by dinner time, you know, I'll drive the car, clean it, we'll go get the baby tomorrow. Perfect. She wouldn't let me go. She goes, if I go into labor any minute now and you're in Orlando, a guy, you know, buying a yellow S2000, which, I mean, it seems reasonable to me. I'm only 90 miles away. I will pay you to bring the car to me. For some reason, if the car's no good and I don't like it, I'll pay your gas, pay for the inconvenience, whatever. I don't want you to be out. But if it's like you say it is, I'm going to buy the car. I bought the car, built the car, put a turbo kit in it, built a custom turbo kit. I'll show you a picture of it here in a minute. CR wheels, redid the brakes, custom exhaust, custom intercooler. All this was all like fancy into here. I was super happy with the car. Went to the NOPE Nationals in 2010, and I was on the roster to get a CRZ, which was obviously the hybrid. It was that first came out. I was on the roster to get one of those. Last minute, Honda decided, no, you're not going to have one. We don't want you to take the motor out. We want you to put wheels on it, on the body kit and stereo, and change the color of the interior, but we don't want you taking the engine out. I said, I'm taking the engine out. They said, well, guess what? You're not having one. I had to sell this to fund the KRZ project, which was a CRZ with a K motor in it. So I had to take this apart, sell it off, buy the CRZ brand new, put everything on my credit card to put a motor in it to do all the work, which that of course was the first hybrid. So that of course was the first K-swapped CRZ in the world, and it was on a tight budget, but we did it, and it was a super nice car. But this is still owned by the person that I sold it to, a dealer, because I needed to sell it quick to buy the CRZ. She bought it from the dealer. She's had it ever since. She's had it since 2010 and still brings it back for maintenance. Here we are 12 years later. The car is still beautiful. So this was a custom turbo kit I built, custom intake manifold, everything was ceramic coated. This was, again, 2010. That was my idea of a reservoir breather, which everybody and his brother makes now, but that I believe was one of the first. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me they were the first. I don't care. But anyway, 2010. Top mount manifold. You can't tell by that turbine housing, but I made an actual shield around that turbine housing so it had an air gap. You can see the bolts right there. That is almost like a replication of the shape of the turbine housing, but it has about a ½ inch, basically like a thermal barrier between it so it wouldn't cook the engine bay. Also built one of those for the top of the downpipe too. All right, thank you. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the Dragon meet.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely, awesome. So cool to see that car. Look at that. She'll be at the Dragon meet with this. Check it out, October 8th. Go to Classic Hondas on the Dragon Facebook page. Go to our website, lhtperformance.com. All the information will be on there. Would love to see you. I'd love to see you enjoy your car.